Welcome to day 11, Mastering the Art of Setting Boundaries. Today's focus is on a crucial aspect of personal growth and self-care, and that is setting healthy boundaries. And that can feel really overwhelming. Boundaries are not just lines drawn around us. They are the personal guidelines, rules, and limits we establish to protect our emotional and physical well-being. They are fundamental to how we navigate relationships, work, and ourselves. So, what is the essence of boundaries? Well, they are essential in defining our sense of self and understanding where we end and others begin. They help us determine what behaviors we accept from others and what we accept from ourselves. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and a declaration of our worth. Psychological and emotional significance is great with boundaries. From a psychological standpoint, boundaries are crucial for emotional health. They allow us to separate our needs, thoughts, and feelings and desires from others. This separation is vital, and it's closely linked to concepts like autonomy and self-determination. And as highlighted in numerous psychological studies, boundaries come in a lot of forms. Emotional, which is protecting our feelings. Physical, protecting our personal space and our body. Time, managing our time effectively. That's huge for work. And intellectual, respecting our ideas and our thoughts and our voice. Recognizing and establishing these boundaries is key to nurturing our relationships and our self-care. And it's not something we actively think about. So that's what we're going to do today for our self-care challenge. We're going to identify and communicate our boundaries. And it starts with self-reflection. So grab that journal and take some time to reflect on areas of your life where boundaries are blurred and maybe absent altogether. Are there relationships or situations where you feel limits are not respected? What could those be? And I'd like you to identify one specific boundary that you need to establish or reinforce. This could relate to your personal space, your time management, your emotional availability, or any other aspect that affects your well-being. So we need to define and understand the boundary. So what you're going to do is write down what this boundary is and why it's important to you. Understanding the why can help you communicate it more clearly and assertively. And it's tricky. So consider what this boundary looks like in real life, right? What could this boundary really look like? How will setting this boundary improve your quality of life and your relationship? And once you have that all out, you're going to plan the communication. You're going to think about how you will relay this information and set up this boundary. What words will you use? What tone is appropriate? How will you handle potential resistance? Because resistance may happen. So you got to prepare yourself for those things. It's important to be clear and concise and assertive, but not aggressive. There's a big difference there. And remember, setting boundaries is healthy. This is a good thing. It's necessary. So here's an example of setting a work-life balance boundary. Suppose you're struggling with work invading your personal time. I think that's 99% of us. And you decide to set a boundary such as no work-related calls after 6 p.m. So plan how to communicate this to your colleagues or your boss, perhaps through an email or in a meeting, whatever that may be, whatever feels right, and explain that this boundary is crucial for maintaining a healthy work-life balance. You're going to be firm, yet respectful in your approach, because setting boundaries is not about isolation or rigidity. It's about self-care and mutual respect. And who knows, you setting this boundary could start a whole chain reaction for better work-life balance and then productivity in other people in the office. So you have to know yourself and understand your limits and have the courage to advocate for your needs. And I know this is challenging, but as we embark on this journey of setting boundaries, let's remember that they're really important. They're essential for a balanced, respectful, and fulfilling life. And so that work-life balance example, you could give your examples. You could talk to your boss. You could say, of course there's exceptions to the rule, but if you find that your boss is emailing you every day and expecting a return at 9 p.m. at night, and then that causes stress to your life, well, you need to build a boundary there. And so what could that look like? So what one boundary are you wanting to set for yourself? What's the one hard rule? I set this boundary after I had my son. I was very clear with a job that I was starting fresh that I needed to leave the office by 5 p.m. every day so I could get home and feed my child. And they respected it. But I set it from the beginning. I set the boundary early. It's easier to do when you're going into something new than when you're already in the middle of something. I completely respect that. But what could that be? And for me, that was it. I just have to leave. There was no negotiation. And you don't have to have a child to set a boundary. I think, you are your own person. And so what is healthy for you? If you know that you would like to go to the gym every day for a 6 p.m. class because that is going to help you feel good about yourself, then that's your boundary. And you're like, I leave every day at 6 p.m. There are exceptions to the rule, but that is what I do 90% of the time. And that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be productive and I'm going to show up for you and I'm going to get my job done. But that's my boundary. So think about one thing and then share it. I'd love to hear what it is. And remember, it's not about, not being flexible. It's just about what's going to help you be better, to take care of yourself. So that's today's challenge. And I can't wait to hear the beautiful boundaries you're setting up for yourself. And we'll see you tomorrow.